So at this point in the planning, we've got our wants and needs analysed, and what we need to do is we need to make it into a proposal. We call this creating the jellyfish. We call it a jellyfish because it is transparent and it's flexible. And if you don't use it properly, you could get stung. The jellyfish is a way of identifying how we can create what our perfect world is, and then what the outside bottom line no deal position is. The distended jellyfish, as you were. When do we use it? We use it when we want to protect ourselves against an aggressive counter-negotiator, or we use it to provoke movement in the other party. Each time we're doing this, we're doing it to keep our jellyfish as tight as possible. Our proposals need to be as controlled and as orderly as possible, while still giving the impression of flexibility and malleability. Again, the jellyfish analogy. How do we create the jellyfish from our wants and needs analysis? I'm going to show you now. When we were on the 10-step plan earlier on, at step 3, we identified our wants and needs in the deal that we were talking about. What we now need to do is transfer it onto the jellyfish so that when we make it as a proposal, we can see it in its entirety and we can see what our perfect world is, what do we want to achieve from this deal, and how far we will get pushed, what our need bottom line is, which is represented by the outside of the jellyfish. This is how far we will get stretched. So the first thing we said is what we want is, we want $1,000 for this deal. We will get pushed to our bottom line under the right circumstances to 750. So that element, that section of the jellyfish, we want 1,000, we could go to 750. When we looked at the product that we wanted to deliver, ideally we wanted the vanilla off-the-shelf product we just called product A. But what we did say is, if the customer wanted to change it in any way, they wanted to add to it, we would be prepared to add some bells and whistles that would take it to A++. So there would be a development. And we would move to A++ in the right circumstances. When we looked at the credit terms, we said, ideally we want cash with order. But we would go as far as industry standard 30 days credit. So we will move from cash with order to 30 days. And then finally what we said is, ideally we want the 30th of March, which helps our business planning, our quarterly planning, maybe just our sales target. We want to win this deal on the 30th of March. But if it got sticky, we would wait until the 31st of December, the end of our business year, if appropriate. Now, obviously, if we settle a deal on the outside edge all the way around here, that feels like it should be okay. But when you spread your jellyfish that far, even if it isn't outside the bottom line, it will feel as though you've got a loss. It will feel as though you pushed too far. So our goal is to try and settle as many of these elements as close to the centre as possible. And bearing in mind, a lot of the deals you have may have 8, 10 or 20 segments of the deal. When we look at finances, we're using dollars here. You may have 3 variable pricing and currency structures. When we look at delivery, you may have a multiple phase delivery or manufacture then delivery. So this may be broken into 3 or 4 sections. And the product itself, the product may be 5 variable products in a package sense. So although I'm only using 4 elements here, you get the shape of what a jellyfish should be. $1,000, product A, cash with order, 30th of March. But of course, this is the rub. We have a conflict. The customer doesn't want to pay this much. They don't want it delivered in March. They want a better product and they want better terms. Our task now is to settle this deal without bursting the jellyfish. That's our primary task. Our secondary task to ensure we get a win out of this is to close as many of these sections as close to the centre as possible. So for example, if the deal, after many hours of conversation and negotiation, if the customer says, I will pay $850 30th of March is acceptable to me. The credit terms I want are definitely 30 days, and I will accept product A plus at this price, at this delivery. What you then start realising is, well, here is my new jellyfish. I've settled in on the 30th of March, 850, product A, right to the outside edge on the credit terms. I've got to give them the 30 days, and then we come back to the delivery. The ideal, obviously, is still this centre, tight, perfect jellyfish. But it's been pulled, it's been prodded, it's been displaced, but never has it gone outside the edge. We haven't burst the jellyfish, and we've kept as close as we can. This is a win deal. So finally, the jellyfish is there to help you to plan. The jellyfish is there to help you to understand your limitations whilst you're talking. And the jellyfish is there to enable you to make an offer to the other party that will provoke them to provide a win-win for yourself.